Welcome everybody. We're doing another IRL episode. This one's only going to be recorded. So I'm back in LA now. I'm in my favorite place, or nearing it, the little Osaka area, Sawtell. I'm gonna see what kind of stuff is there. I don't really know what I'm in the mood for. I guess I could go for sort of anything. So yeah, let's just look around and see what we can find. So hold on one second. Trying to log into my GoPro account, which apparently requires a login, which I also don't have, or don't know what it is if I have one. I'll have to look that up later. You know what it might be is that I was not connected to the internet. I don't think that is affected though. Nope. Yeah, I don't know my GoPro password. Maybe I never had one. Anyway. Should be fine. So that's where we want to go, up there. And then a couple blocks over, I thought I'd be able to do a little bit of prepping for Japan, but couldn't get my SIM card to fire. That's a big problem in the USA. It's worked for me maybe like 3 out of the 6 times I've tried to do it with this type of card. It's always best to get a spot on these streets here because it gets a little crowded once you get up towards the actual area. Yeah, I can't see the thing. I think it's good though. So we'll check one last time for the network thing, and that is not working. So I will, I can power it off remotely, which is nice. My portable Wi-Fi. I had a bit of an issue trying to get my, anytime you go on an international flight, there's like the Travel Ready Center in the United app, and it sort of behooves you to set everything up beforehand in that Travel Ready Center so you don't have to worry. And so one of the things getting into Japan is you need to set up this app that they use. It's like a COVID thing, and you have to fill out like a lot of forms and upload all your vaccination documents and all these steps, probably like a dozen different steps, and some of them need to get verified and sent back to you and this and that. I did all that and it was like good to go, and then I set up the so like that was good, which is supposed to get you on the plane, but then the United app, I guess, doesn't connect to that app, and they wanted me to upload my stuff again. So I did, and the United app said like, oh, you're not ready to travel, like, you know, there's a problem with your documents, these are not valid. So I called them and basically, like, I guess it's like a known issue with the app that it's like didn't accept one of the valid combinations of vaccinations and boosters. Like it's like a Johnson & Johnson vax and then like the Moderna booster, I guess, which is totally accepted by the CDC. But the app was like, oh, it's not the same company, so like this can't be right. And I was like, oh crap, am I gonna get turned away because of this? But apparently I can just bring my actual stuff, you know, to the airport and it'll be fine. I might want to go to MENYA TIGRE. I haven't been there in a while.
我之后去这里拍我的那个拍我的。
I don't see any food trucks. I guess keep looking. MENYA TIGRE is a good choice though. Might want to do that one. Origami is always good too. There's Karaoke Blue. It's a good sort of karaoke bar. Not in the Japanese style, which is usually those kind of places are like a private room that you're renting just for you and your friends to do karaoke. But this one's like an American karaoke bar where it's like a bar in which anyone can get up to the mic and do karaoke, and then everybody else can watch you, which is cool. It's really a fun place, but it's definitely a different type. I would have expected it to be the Japanese style in this area. There was a Japanese style karaoke bar or karaoke room place, which was in this complex up in front of us, but it closed down during the lockdown. I'm gonna go over there actually. So yeah, I guess it was like a thing where like people couldn't be in close quarters, so like it was totally, their income was totally stopped for however long and they just couldn't sustain it. But that was a really fun place. Some good memories of being there. Gone before its time. Max Karaoke. The sign is still on the thing actually. Kuro's still got a big line like always. Let's go into the market, see if there's any freebies. So I bought a new SD card for this camera, big one, so that I could, previously I could only really record like one, maybe two streams locally, so I would only do it if like there was no signal. But now I can do pretty much as many as I need. So I'm going to record every show, and no matter what, upload them to YouTube afterwards, and make that the permanently saved one. So that, because previously it was like, oh, well, if it wasn't having a problem at the beginning of the show in Greece, I would go live only, not locally, and then halfway through it could cut out, and then like, you know, you're just left with half of a show. But with this one, it is like, you may be watching live and not see the whole show, but you're guaranteed to get the whole thing if you go back and check the YouTube link. So I think that's better. As long as I can, it's dependent on two things: how good the internet is in my hotel room to upload those videos, which is hopefully it's fine. It says on the website that it's good. And then the other thing it's dependent on is me pressing the button to make it record, which is you'd think it's a simple thing, but not necessarily. Oh yeah, this place is good. Tenkatori fried chicken. Really excited to go back though. I'm literally going, when I say it's the day that they open back up, it's literally is the day after the whole country opens. So it's gonna be I thought it was gonna be like, oh, I'm kind of getting there before the rush. But I was talking to one of the, people on italki, that site that I use to,
That's where I dropped it.
talk to people in Japan, and they were saying like, oh yeah, no, like all my friends from other countries are like coming to here now, like somebody's coming on the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th. And I was like, whoa, I thought like, so I don't know, maybe it is going to be like a madhouse when I get there, just like overrun with gaijin like myself. That's what it was the last time I went, which was in 2019. Like, I want to say it was like late 2019, like maybe October, like this. Whatever it was though, it was during like a rugby championship or something. So all these Australians were over there, and they were like barging into, tiny little sleepy izakayas and like causing a big ruckus. And there was a woman in one izakaya that we were sitting in who was like kind of like yelling at the lady who owned it, the very nice lady who like owned and operated this 4-seat little bar. The woman, Australian woman, was like yelling at her for some perceived slight. It was really just a cultural difference that she didn't understand. I felt so bad. And then like as she was doing that, these two like rugby guys like, pushed aside the curtain and said like, konnichiwa, and like started like yelling. And it's like, oh God, please don't. It's just like, we've stopped being like giving foreigners a bad name. But yeah, so I don't know, maybe that's what it's gonna be like now, with like a lot of people just jumping on the opportunity to visit. We will find out. I am gonna go to MENYA TIGRE, or we could do the karaage place. I'll do MENYA TIGRE. So I'm going to put the black cover on the screen for a second. Oops. Hi. Oh. Yeah, just can I sit at the bar? Is that cool? Thank you. Cool, okay. haven't been here since they opened, really, I don't think. So I'm gonna take the mic out. Give me a sec, ladies and gents. Hang tight. So I tied the little thing with my cable so tight that I couldn't figure out how I had originally tied it.
Can I get you something to drink?
Just a water. You speak Japanese, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You speak Japanese?
すぐに日本に行きます。
Ah, today?
火曜日です。
火曜日？
もうすぐ、初めての、高級のLの日。その日、すぐに行きます。だけど、水と、ビールがありますか？
アルコールないですね。
コーラ、ダイエットコーラ。
ダイエットコーラ。
ありがとうございます。
レギュラ
ない。けど、これ大丈夫ですか？カメラ。
大丈夫。
ありがとうございます。A little bit of YouTube. I do Twitch streaming, but I'm sort of like doing a practice right now.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm bringing my whole setup to Japan too.
That's cool.
So I can't really tell what this is gonna look like as always, but I just kind of guess. Yeah, when I don't have the ability to like look at the feed, that's what the GoPro app is for. Then I'm just kind of winging it, but we'll hope it works. Okay, so their specialty here is like a curry ramen, which I'd like to have some. Let me just take a look at, make sure that, yeah, okay. I suspect that when I'm in Tokyo, a lot of these places are a lot smaller than the US, like a lot less sort of space to set up my little tripod. Not that I take up that much space, but I also want to test out, probably on the next time I go to do an IRL thing, I want to test out doing leaving the thing on my shoulder and just eating at a little chair like this and pointing the camera down, like first person eating sort of, because that's the ultimate like take up no space at all situation. So depending on the size of the place I'm going to, that's kind of the plan. I did it a little bit when I was in Tokyo last time, when I was at the okonomiyaki place, and there was like a ramen place where I did it. Yeah, so at least I have the benefit of like kind of knowing what I want. 多分カレーつけ麺をください。そして辛いものがありますか？トッピング。トッピング辛いものはないです。これを足すだけです。ああ、そうだ。多分それだけ。これだけ。ありがとうございます。カレーつけ麺。ありがとうございます。It's my thing. Every time I do one of these and I get ramen, I always get a Diet Coke. I never really drink Diet Coke anymore except when I'm eating ramen in the US. I always find it hard to answer the question like, are you a YouTuber? Because it's kind of the first instinct of somebody who sees what I'm doing is YouTube vlogger or something. Which I guess technically I am a YouTuber, but I never answer the question like, oh yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I always say like I'm a Twitch streamer. It doesn't really matter, but it's like honestly, I don't know why I don't answer it yes, because if they're looking to find a YouTube channel, I have one, and they can find it, and they can even see this episode on it. I don't know, you know what, I should answer that question yes. I don't know why I don't. So next time I'll see if I can get my SIM card to work. If not, it's not the biggest deal. I have a different, SIM card that's supposed to work in Japan that will be for when I go to Japan. Let's take a look at it while I'm sitting here. So, we would kind of just be trying it as we get there either way. The worst case scenario is like, when I get there, if this SIM card doesn't even work, I can get there and buy a data SIM card in Japan. So this has a whole situation with like, okay, username, password, authentication. I swear I put all of the info in correctly though. It's gotta just be a glitch. I've had good reliability with this company in other countries, but not in the US. Yeah, so we'll see about what we can do with this. I'll take one more look at the US one though, see if we can figure out what was going wrong with it. They have these instructions that are kind of hard to parse. I don't know that much about like internet settings and networking and everything, but it seems very simple. There's two things that I need to set, and I set them, and it doesn't work. And I know I've set it the same way before, and it did work. So it's like, well, what else am I doing? It's like I keep going over this thing. Like, is there another instruction I'm missing? And it's like, no, that's it. I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, it's got to just be, last time they sent me one that had the wrong expiration date on it, so it was like already expired or something. Could be that this one is too. But this one they actually sent as a part of a support call in response to having sent me the wrong one before. So it's like, I can't imagine they would make the same mistake when they're fixing the original mistake, you know? Man, I'm remembering what it was like in Greece too, when I was like so sweaty coming from these places. Because this backpack, you gotta imagine that the backpack's not that big. It's like this, you know, a normal backpack size sort of, and it's, you know, not that thick either. But when it is on your back all day, like your, you know, areas where the straps are, your shoulders, and especially the back, where it's like no air gets in, it's like you're gonna get sweaty no matter what. Pretty much instantly, like within like 4 minutes. So I'll go to a laundromat. Yeah, but I'm excited though because so I can do a certain amount of, assuming the SIM card works, which we're just gonna say right now that it will. Let's keep the fingers crossed for that. But assuming the SIM card works, you can do a certain amount of data per day, and then I have enough gigabytes on this SD card I'm getting that I could record, even if I ran out of data for the day, it resets at the end of each day. So like, even if I ran out of data for that day, I could just record more shows. So I, you know, and also I'm by myself. So it's like, there's not really as much, when I'm on a trip with somebody, I don't want to like spend the whole time streaming, but if I'm by myself, there's no difference what I do, you know, there's no difference whether I stream or not stream. So it kind of, the possibilities are endless to some extent, unless I go into a place. The main thing is I don't want to go into, you can't go into an arcade with cameras. That's like #1 rule of Japanese arcades. And I'm planning on spending a lot of time in arcades like I did last time. You probably don't want to go into a lot of these little bars with cameras. So there'd probably be a certain point in the night when I just like stop using my stuff, you know, like I don't want to go into a bar with a camera. I don't want to like make people uncomfortable or whatever, you know. So it's mostly just like, I'm only limited by my own personal sort of like code of ethics on streaming, not necessarily by any outside factors. Yeah, last time I was in Tokyo, I was staying in Shinjuku, and in Shinjuku it's not like arcade central, but thank you. It's not like arcade central, but it does have a lot of really good ones, which is sort of like you wouldn't expect it. It's known more as like a red light district, but they have a lot of good Okay, I don't think I can point this like at the food, so enjoy watching me eat some food, man. I'm gonna take a picture of it though first. And anyway, when I was in staying there, there was actually one night when I stayed in the arcade so long that they shut the grates, and it was like this weird like you know, like 2 a.m. ritual where like they would let all the people who were still there playing video games like continue playing, but they wouldn't let anybody else in. And it was like this secret like 30 minutes to an hour of like just the people who were dedicated enough to like close out the arcade that were allowed to like stay and do their thing. I thought that was really cool. It was like the kind of thing like when you're a kid, like instead of like, you would imagine like that being the thing you would do as an adult, you know? It's like, why would I want to go to a bar and close it out? I want to close out an arcade. And that's what I did. yeah, there's always like a lot of really interesting, because like the arcade industry in Japan is still completely thriving in the sense that like, you know, they have like Dave and Buster's here, and they have, you know, whatever, like there's like Round One in the US, but like those are anomalies, you know. The arcade industry here is not thriving, which means there's no innovation really. There'll be like one new arcade game every like 2 years that you notice. But in Japan, you know, imagine like if the arcade industry is like the game industry, where they're coming out with games like every day, and the arcades over there are just like, it's like the future. There's so many new things. This is really good. So yeah, I always like set aside some time when I'm in Japan to go to the arcade. They call them game centers. There's a pretty good name for it. I'm gonna try some of this, whatever this is. Oh, it's good. Spice. This place took over the spot of a really beloved ramen place that I used to love.
Is everything with you?
すごく美味しい。ありがとうございます。But it took over the spot of like a ramen place that I loved, and I kind of like didn't go, almost like out of spite. Oh, you know the ramen place that I love because I went there in Seattle. That's the only other place in the US where it exists. So that place used to be here, and they went away, and I haven't really come here that much, but I should because it's really good. Let's put some more of this spice in here. That's really good. it's like a, so it is like an Indian curry inspired ramen. Very thick broth and like a sort of smoky flavor to it, which is, you know, very different from obviously your typical ramen. And it works really well for skimming because it's, you know, the broth really sticks to the noodles. I'm curious how much of my language stuff will actually get me by when I'm over there. A lot of it's going to depend on how willing people are going to be to like stoop to my level, you know? Get closer to the bottom, it has more like of the smokiness. I'm wondering like how much like cash I should be using over there, because a lot of the small places that I like don't really take credit cards. But I guess I could always just, you know, cross the bridge when I get to it. I don't really like to take cash out here. You know, like have it exchanged or whatever. So I would only do it once I get there anyway. I feel like this place is a little bit it's a very large bowl of ramen, and this one's pretty inexpensive too, so it's like I would almost want it to have get like a small size version of that. And I would have been fine with, you know, just a small, but I didn't see one. Maybe there was one, I didn't see it. let's get our check in, you know. I never eat the seaweed with ramen because it's like, I don't know, I always feel like it's so sticky, it always like sticks to my teeth. I don't like the sensation of that. I always like feel like I have to brush my teeth after I eat seaweed. So yeah, I just put it on the side. But there's kind of like a thing in Japan where it's like you're almost insulting the proprietor of a, especially ramen shop, if you don't eat everything included in the ramen. So I mean, I don't know how, you know, how much they care if it's like a foreigner doing it, but I might just eat it anyway when I'm over there. Unless, of course, unless I want to offend the proprietor of the ramen shop, then I will do whatever the heck. I'll put it all on the side. But I don't foresee that that outcome happening. So it is currently, today is Saturday. My flight is on Tuesday morning, I think, or like early-ish in the day. So I have a little bit of time to get ready. Oh yeah, can I get the check, please? Thank you. So hang tight, ladies and gents. I'm going to put the black thing over the camera. Do not be alarmed. Yeah, that's the best solution I can come up with. It's a catch-all of like, okay, you don't know what's gonna be like the camera. You can't like point the camera away because like, what if it moves and then you see like, you know, yeah, dear viewer, I have no doubt that you are an upstanding citizen and would not steal my credit card info if you saw it sitting on my, you know, stream. But there may be another. Thank you. Another less scrupulous person who comes by. So it's, you know, this is in my, as far as I've found, the best way in an IRL situation to not make a mistake like that. Yeah, I had some pretty close scrapes when I was over there last time. Thank you. I didn't really get to talk to our guy at all. The person who came by at the end was different than the guy who was our waiter at the beginning. Maybe his shift was over or something. Okay, so I'm going to take this off the thing. Hang tight because I'm also going to be taking the mic out in a second. with this. This is the part of the process I still haven't gotten down 100%, which is like getting the tripod, put away, and then, leaving a restaurant and being able to properly, put the camera back on. So we'll see what we can do this time. Do a little bit of a trial run once again. Yeah, see, this box is a little bit too small to work this way. But even if it's not closed, I don't think that's a problem. So let's try not closing the box. That might actually solve a lot of things for us. Okay, now I'm going to take the mic out, so hang tight. So hang tight, ladies and gents. Alright, that wasn't so bad. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I forgot the thing about that place, which is that you, the guy who owns or like started or operates, or I don't know, the company behind that curry ramen place that we just went to is the guy who owns Anzu, which is the karaage place around the corner. And I guess they're connected, the two restaurants or something, because like the guy who was just serving us at the end and gave us a check was the guy who owns Anzu. So yeah, there's some kind of crossover between the people who work at those two establishments. I'm actually pretty proud of how fast I was able to put the camera back on this time once I like put away the tripod. Every time's a learning experience, huh? Alright, so one show down. Can't really test it in terms of live aspects, but can at least, get back in the groove of doing IRL content, all of the things that entails. And I appreciate you joining along for the ride. Even got to get a little bit of Japanese in there, even if it was a bit one-sided of a conversation. When people don't have a lot of faith in my abilities to speak the language, they typically will hear me speak Japanese and then respond in English, because they just kind of assume that I'm not going to be able to parse whatever they say otherwise. And that's what this guy did, so maybe I misheard something he said and that kind of tipped him off, or gave him the suggestion of like, okay, I'll just respond in English, but whatever it was a not unpleasant experience. A very nice guy, And there will be plenty of opportunity to speak over there, so not too nervous or like worried about, you know, missing out on practice here, because I get a lot of practice anyway. The biggest difference between when I last went to Japan, which was 3 years ago in 2019, and now, is that then I had been mostly book smart, you know, for lack of a better word, of just like, I had really only studied the language to a decent extent. You know, I was probably a few hundred days in on Duolingo, and I, you know, knew some kanji and, you know, all that stuff. But this time, again, for lack of a better word, but it's like more sort of street smart, of like conversationally speaking, where I have the ability to, like, I've had many conversations in the language or whatever, so it's a little bit like I'd be more prepared to hold up a conversation and not just be like, you know, say one thing and then like have to switch back. So that's we'll see how it turns out, you know, and you never know. But good stuff, ladies and gents. I think that's gonna do it for this one. Got a little bit of ramen, got some time to speak, got a little faster putting the camera back on the thing after getting up at a restaurant. Oh man, when I'm over there, I'm gonna have to get used to my vacation style of eating, which is that you don't really eat anywhere. You just get like little appetizers or like a single skewer or something at a bunch of places, so that you can sample the wares, you know, make your money go farther, for one, because especially in Japan, like, the types of stuff they serve is like really cheap. Like the ramen we just had here was $13 for that, and that's even pretty cheap for the US, or at least for LA. And that same ramen in Japan would be like $5 or something. Like, it's a huge difference. So yeah, if you imagine that I wasn't even getting that, and I was just getting like a you know, like a thing of karage or like a single skewer or something, it'd be so cheap. And I'm also not like filling up at one place so that I can't eat somewhere else. So yeah, we'll there'll be plenty of restaurants. I'm trying to say, well, restaurants where I go and sit down and then get back up. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so that is going to do it then. For the third time, I bid you adieu. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.